Once upon a time, in a small kingdom nestled between green valleys and sparkling rivers, lived a young girl named Cinderella. She was known for her kind heart, gentle spirit, and breathtaking beauty. Unfortunately, she lived under the control of her cruel stepmother and two stepsisters, who treated her as nothing more than a servant in her own home. Despite her hardships, Cinderella found solace in little things, singing with birds, picking wildflowers, and dreaming about a life beyond her daily chores. One day, the kingdom announced a grand ball at the palace. Hosted by the prince, who was searching for his future queen. Every young woman in the land was invited, and Cinderella's heart leapt with excitement. But her stepmother, determined to keep Cinderella out of the prince's sight, forbade her from attending and ordered her to stay home and finish her chores. As the night of the ball arrived, her stepmother and stepsisters left for the palace, leaving Cinderella behind, heartbroken. Just as she began to cry, a warm, glowing light filled the room. To Cinderella's astonishment, a fairy godmother appeared before her, dressed in sparkling robes and carrying a wand tipped with stardust.
My dear Cinderella, don't worry, you shall go to the ball.
With a wave of her wand, the fairy godmother transformed Cinderella's ragged clothes into a magnificent gown of shimmering blue silk. But the most unique part of her transformation was her shoes, a pair of radiant red sandals, glittering with magic. The fairy godmother said, "Cinderella,
these sandals are enchanted. They will keep you light on your feet and make sure the prince remembers you. But remember, the magic will wear off at midnight, so be sure to return home by then."
Thanked her fairy godmother, and, with a joyful heart, stepped into a pumpkin carriage that had been transformed by magic to carry her to the palace. As she entered the grand ballroom, all eyes turned to her. The prince was entranced by her beauty, especially by the gleaming red sandals that sparkled like rubies beneath the golden chandeliers. The prince asked her to dance, and they twirled gracefully across the floor, both lost in the magic of the moment. But as the clock began to chime midnight, Cinderella remembered the fairy godmother's warning. She quickly pulled away, thanking the prince, and dashed out of the palace, leaving one of her red sandals behind in her hurry. The next day, the prince declared he would marry the girl who fit the dazzling red sandal. He traveled from house to house, trying the sandal on every maiden in the land, but none could wear it. Finally, he arrived at Cinderella's home. The stepsisters tried to squeeze into the sandal, but it was too small. Then Cinderella stepped forward. She slipped her foot into the sandal, and it fit perfectly. The prince recognized her as his dance partner from the ball, and he knew she was the one he had been looking for. Soon, Cinderella married the prince. and they lived happily ever after, with the red sandals safely stored away as a cherished reminder of the magic that brought them together.